Convenience of plastics have become a necessary evil for mankind. Can't live with, nor live without. Biopol Biosciences, an innovative biotechnology startup with a history of only 1.5 years, have come up with what I would call brilliant solutions. Biodegradable plastic through aerobic and anaerobic fermentation processes and biological end products. Akash S, the founder and director of Biopol Sciences, joins us in today's KYE special series, the Bioentrepreneurs of the BBC. Akash.
Hi, sir.
Pleasure to have you with us here today.
The pleasure is mine.
You have some very innovative products that you're coming up with indeed. I believe you're also on the verge of submitting your thesis for your doctorate. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
How far are you from receiving your doctor's degree?
So I'm in the final stage of my defense. So the papers are about to publish. So once it is done, so I'm eligible to get the doctor title.
Congratulations. I hope that comes through very fast.
Yeah, thank you, sir.
I believe that you were here in the BBC as an employee of another startup. That is incredible because you joined as an employee of a startup. You started doing your own research. You started doing your doctorate program. You started doing your PhD. And in the process, you also set up your own startup. What made you do that? Why did you, one, leave another company that you had joined? And two, from your research, from your PhD program that you were doing, what made you also do a startup?
So I believe life is not a static way of seeing it. So it should always be in a progressive way. So I was hired by a company at BBC to work on biomolecules, namely insulin, so insulins and its analogs. So I saw the opportunity at BBC where they were encouraging entrepreneurs to start up their own venture. So that is what it gave me an idea. So to see my way future. So while I was working, I was seeing all the things which are happening in the field of biotechnology. So I wanted to develop a product which can replace plastics. So I had my idea. So I built the time and skill to get that idea done.
Had you been affected with plastics per se in some point? Why plastic? Where did that idea come from?
So actually, I'm a fermentation specialist. So I update my technology by reading the fermentation journals. So I came across the bioplastics can be produced through bacteria. So that is where I started to focus on inventing or discovering new things on plastic replacement. So that is where I found this bioplastics. So the bacteria, what I have engineered, produces maximum yield of bioplastic.
As we spoke earlier, you're doing your PhD. You were working with another startup firm, which is also a very challenging and interesting space to be in.
Yes.
And now you have your own startup. Which one of these would you term as your accomplishment?
So having my own startup.
For sure, that's what I would also say outright. But I asked you this question specifically coming from the background that you are doing 3 different things. And at each stage, you would have thought that you would have accomplished something. So at this stage, yes, your startup is your baby. That is what you would concentrate on.
Yes.
But from your research, from your studies, from your exposure, what do you think has led to this accomplishment? What is the background of this?
Okay. It's like I always dreamt of innovating or building a product. So whether I was a part of other organization or the part of a new organization. So my passion was to build a product which can be commercialized and which satisfies the customer needs. So that is where I was seeing my vision to go forward. So that is what I had planned this. So these are the things which I need to set up through the course of my life. So that is where I started my PhD. So PhD was a part of it. So I had done my master's in biotechnology. So I wanted to move on from that. Even that is a part of a curriculum in my life. It's like academics should never be ending. So it should always, it's like a stepping stone. So if we are building a building, so the bricks should be very strong. So that is where I focus on the studying part as well as making use of what we study.
I'm sure you would have faced many challenges through your journey to reach here. Can you tell me some of the obstacles that you had to overcome?
So the main obstacle was self-confidence. So when I got this idea, so the main obstacle what I felt was, is it possible to do it? So being from the scratch with no background regarding the financials or we can say without any expertise in the field of entrepreneurship, because scientific is different. When it comes to the business, it's different. So we as scientists, we sit in the lab, do the things, modify the things, but we will not be seeing the outside world. So how it fits inside the outside world. So that is where it was a challenging task for me to adapt these conditions. So yes, I started a startup, but the initial hurdles was to bridge the market as well as the lab. So as we progress, we learn the things. So that is where I find it very difficult to bridge the scientific as well as the market. So, but now we are overcoming it. That is what the evolution teaches us.
Did you face rather similar challenges during your earlier ventures as well, when you're working with the other companies?
Yes, sir. As you might be knowing, all the companies, there will be a certain deadlines. The pressure of us to deliver within a certain time frame where I was performing. So that gave me a boost up, actually. That boosted my confidence that, yeah, I can do it.
You had already been working with another venture, another startup which was incubated within the BBC. And I'm sure that during that phase you had exposure to other similar setups like the BBC in the government as well as the private sectors. Why did you choose to incubate your startup in the BBC itself?
So, as I said, I was a part of the organization, a startup at BBC. So I came across the ambient atmosphere in which the BBC functions. It encourages us and it encourages and motivates us to synergize our ideas into products.
Talking of products, tell us more about whatever you are making.
So this is a bioplastic mulch sheet, so used in agricultural fields, which replaces the conventional plastics that are used as mulch sheets. So this also has the fertilizers embedded in it. When it degrades, so it also releases the fertilizers into the soil, making the soil fertility to increase.
So that means that in commercial fields, where you lay the plastics to prevent weed growth,
yes, absolutely,
you can use this instead.
Yes.
And in the conventional method that is being used currently, the plastics leach chemicals into the soil and decrease the fertility of the soil. And this would mean that this actually degrades faster and enriches the soil.
Yes, absolutely, sir.
That is indeed fabulous.
So this is one of the product, and this is a mulch sheet where the seeds are embedded in it. So you need to purchase a sheet and just put it onto the surface of the soil. It grows. So because this sheet has all the nutrients and fertilizers as well as the microbes embedded in it. So it also has this nitrogen fixation bacteria. So irrespective of the soil fertility, it grows, it germinates a seed.
So you basically lay this sheet on a soil and you don't have to use any extra manure, nothing else. It will grow in almost any kind of soil.
Soil, absolutely. So within 60 days of time period, it degrades. And this is a sample of it where it is getting degraded in the soil.
I see you're using a white sheet at the background to make it more visible. And most of this is translucent almost, as I see it. Just like most of the other plastics. I would not have thought that this is any different in the touch and feel. That is something which I've been able to do physically. I could feel it, I could touch it, and it feels just like the normal plastic that one would buy.
Yes, absolutely. So we are designing this plastic to have a texture which is similar to that of a plastic which is available in the market. So this is another product. So where we are trying to replace the packaging applications.
So this, if I am correct, this is a plastic packaging that you have
made. Yes.
This is biodegradable. And in 90 days, this will decompose.
Yes, yes, absolutely.
And it feels like plastic. I wouldn't differentiate this from the normal plastic in any manner. And it's thick, it's quite strong.
Strong, yes, yes.
It's durable.
Yeah, we have tested all the parameters and it matches with the exact plastic parameters what it has.
This would be a normal packet that you would find in any supermarket.
Supermarkets.
Excellent.
Thank you, sir.
I see you have a huge potential from what you're saying. Of course, plastics is a bane that humanity is facing at large now. Countries worldwide are taking or stepping up precautionary measures to stop the excess usage of plastics. In such a situation, where do you foresee your growth?
It's like we need to, I'm in a situation where I'm doing all the trials on the lab scale. So I see myself in a span of 5 years that my product reaches out to every customer and satisfies the needs, as well as generating the wealth for the company. So it should be a symbiotic nature where a customer also feels the satisfaction as well as the growth of the Biopol also takes place.
Are there any specific factors that you're looking at to enhance this growth?
Factors in the sense, the financial.
Funding, okay.
Funding. The main thing is the funding as well as mentorship. So because, as I said, it was like a scientist in a lab. So we were not exposed to the conditions in the market. So that is where I need some mentorship and as well as the funding to bring this product to the commercial stage and then into the market.
Your growth as a researcher, as an employee, has this in any way made you different in your approaches to the way you look at other things, the way you approached when you were an employee in a company, and the way you're approaching the same or similar situation now as an employer, the way you look at life in general, the way your personal life goes on, has all that been affected with your current scenario and the exposure that you have had?
Yes. In terms of pressure also, we can say if we tell 1x of pressure I used to feel when I was an employee, but now I feel 10x of pressure. The pressure of sustaining, the pressure of growth. So the pressure like what happens tomorrow. So I'm unaware, like it's always a challenging task. See, it's like always the balancing thing. So we need to balance the business, we need to balance the family, we need to balance the financial status. So all these things I learned. So as an entrepreneur, so I was facing day-to-day challenges. So what an employee doesn't feel. So I used to have a different view of life. So on the entrepreneurship journey, it was really amazing, I can say, because it is teaching me new things day by day. So when I was an employee, I always looked for growth. But the thing is that I couldn't measure the growth. But now I can see the measurement with the products, what I create.
This, of course, I'm sure has been a big learning curve for you as well. And have you been able to inculcate these principles of management, not just your scientific research, but the experience that you've gained from setting up your company, your colleagues, handling them, the HR, etc.
Yes.
What have you learned from that?
So it has boosted all my skills. So in terms of speaking skills, in terms of social interacting skills. So all the aspects of life, the entrepreneurship journey makes us to reach out to all the skills what we are trying to reach.
There are many others who are trying to choose similar paths to what you have chosen, who are trying to set up their own startups. What are your words of wisdom to them?
In life, I suggest that have an idea. So always develop the time and skills to achieve that idea. So always, it's like if we want to become independent in our life, we need to spend this time and skill set to achieve that target. So that is what I tell to the entrepreneurs. So instead of directly jumping into this field, first have a vision of where you want it to go and develop the skill set by spending the time and effort to get that skill set. And then you can come to this enormous field of entrepreneurship where you can be independent of creating your own products and developing the lives of people, making the lives of people better.
Akash.
Yes, sir.
I wish you all the very best and thank you very much for joining us today. I wish you as well as Biopol Biosciences, a very bright future. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you, sir.